Hi. We're going to look at defense today. Um, it's an enormous topic, and I don't want to give you too much. So I want to focus on a couple basic ideas, um, none of which will involve signaling. When I teach defense, we don't talk about signals until I'm assured that you know how to handle these basic tools, which involve counting, and a concept that we call assumption. Um, we'll get to. You could bid two no trump here. I think that's dangerous, but I am going to get a spade bid in, and we get to three hearts. So the first thing that you need to do, my favorite book on defense is called The Working Horse by Christophe Martens, and he has 9 questions that he works through before he plays defense, before he starts playing. Right? And of those 9, we're just going to talk about 2 right now. One is counting the points in your partner's hand and making some kind of determination as to what tricks he might be able to take. All right, that's all. The other thing that we're going to touch on, because it's inevitable, is distribution. Right. What I'm saying is that we want to know how many points my partner has, and we would like to know the distribution of East, who's playing the hand. We know he's 6 cards right now. Let's start with the ace, and let's get to work. Okay, so let's count points first. And this is an important concept, because until you know the points that your partner could have, you can't really make a reasonably optimistic guess as to how many tricks he could hold. Right? If all the points are in the other hands, you can't, in your hand in the declare, you can't assume that your partner has an ace to take a trick with, right? Because he doesn't have any points. So how many points do we assign to East? Right? And this is where I want to be optimistic. And Rodwell calls it, I think he called it maximizing the points in your partner's hand. I'm going to give him points on the low end of his bid, which was 2 hearts. So I'm going to give him 7 points. Right? It could be lower, it could be higher, but I'm going to give him 7 points, and then I'll add my points and the dummy points to that. There's 10 over here, and 15 here, and 7 here. 32 points. So I can come up with 8 points missing, and I'm going to put them in my partner's hand. And now that I know they're there, I'm going to try to make them the best possible points. Is that crazy? No. That's how you play defense. You need to come up with the best possible cards for him to hold, unless holding those cards is against the evidence that you've already seen. So what cards could he hold with those 8 points? Right? Well, let's start with the clubs. He could have the Queen of Clubs. Now notice that Queen of Clubs is not very helpful to us unless East started with 3 clubs. Could we make an assumption he has 3 clubs? Well, he could, right? He could be 6 hearts and 3 clubs and 2 and the other 2 remaining suits. The Queen looks like it's possible, right? We know he doesn't have points in the spade suit, and we'll just assume that he doesn't have ace Queen of hearts, meaning that this guy opened Jack 6, right? So he could have one of the heart honors. He could have what? Maybe the ace or the queen. Doesn't matter. If he has those cards, though, my point is, well, we don't really need to worry about it. Well, that's going to come. We don't need to work to promote a trump trick, because he's going to lead trump, right? So for right now, I'm thinking of a different thing happening, which is he has points and diamonds, and that they're sitting over the king. I have the jack, right? What if he has ace queen, right? Isn't that a great scenario, right? Ace queen over that, and if this guy has 2 diamonds, then we're in great shape. If he happens to have 3 diamonds and I get a ruff, even better. And in fact, if he only has 2 diamonds and my partner leads a diamond, there's a chance that I can over ruff with my 8, right? So I can picture him taking a couple tricks here. Ace, queen of clubs, ace, queen of diamonds, and the queen of clubs, right? Those are things I need to keep in mind. And now I'm going to have the right distribution in East, but let's, for the time being, give him 6 hearts and 3 clubs and just assume that's what's happening. And this is what you do when you play defense. You need to place these honors. Figure out what tricks you have. I'll do that now. Ace, king of clubs, if he has 2. That's 2 of them. And the king of hearts. Why the king of hearts? Because the ace isn't here. If the ace was in west, then maybe I don't get the king. Maybe I get finessed, right? But because I can't see the ace to my left, it's either in my partner's hand or it's in East's hand. Either way, I should get it. Unless we crash the hearts, the ace and king on a trick, I will never throw the king of hearts under East's hand. It's protected twice, right? So I will always get the king of hearts. So ace, king, king, ace, king, and king, 3 tricks, right? My partner hopefully has the ace and queen of diamonds, not an unreasonable assumption. That's 5, right? Queen of clubs if East has started with 3. There's 6 tricks there, and we're going to set them at least 2. So let's see what we can make happen. Now that I made these assumptions, now I need to come up with a theory of the defense, like the actual play. I'm not going to go ace, king, 7 over there, right? And I'm not going to lead I'm not going to lead to the queen of clubs because it's going to be wrong, right? And more importantly, it's the diamond situation that's great. Now I'm going to cash the king, hoping these were, East had 2, and I think that's not unreasonable. Right, so I've got that. Now, if North happens to have the queen and East happens to have another club, we'll get it. But right now, I want to switch to diamonds, and I'm taking finesse. My partner has ace, queen, right? Over the king, he plays the ace, and he leads the 3rd club, a little risky, but he had that, and East did have a club. Now he takes his diamond, probably noted that I went jack 3, and he leads another. Now he plays the 9 here, and I am going to overruff it. I'm going to take my trick now. That's 6. I know we're down 2. I'm not sure what we can possibly do after this, but I'm going to lead a spade. If my partner has a higher heart, maybe we promoted it, but I think they can just be pulled at this point. Yeah, and now we're done. Now, little aside, on this spade suit, if you know you're going to get it finessed at some point, please work out the fact that what card you're going to play so you can duck smoothly. If East is truly just on a guess, he might just think you're tossing your cards and that you're not having. But once you start thinking about it, you're placing cards in your hand. If you ever take a long time to play this card on purpose to try to deceive the declare, please don't sit at my table. Okay, I don't want to play with you. Right? But work out ahead of time that you need to duck smoothly. Right? Of course, it doesn't matter on this because he's out of spades. It just has a couple hearts left. So that's how you go about it. Let's jump in the other seat. All right. So partner starts with a king of clubs. I'm doing the same work that he is. So I'm going to figure out how many points does he have for all that bidding that he did there and that double that he made. Forget the double. If I maximize his points, I'm going to do it the same way. I'll give East the lower range. Give him 7 points. There are 10 over here. That's 17. I have 8. That's 25. So partner has 15 points. Just like that. Okay. So what are the 15 points? Well, he's showing me 7 of 15 right now because leading the king for a robot promises the ace. So, or the queen, or king, queen, but I can see the queen. So I know he has the ace. All right, so he has ace, king there. That's 7 of 15. Bids spades, so he probably has king, jack. That's 11 of 15. That's leaving him 4 points. Right? Probably a heart honor. Probably a heart honor since we have ace, king, queen of ace, king, and we can see the king of diamonds. So he could have the jack of diamonds, but then he'll probably have the king of hearts. Or maybe he has the ace of hearts, right? All good and well. It looks to me like if he has the ace of hearts, he's getting a trick. If he has the king of hearts, he is still getting a trick, right? Because I can see that nobody's declared doesn't have the ace over the top of the king, right? So distribution-wise, I can start trying to work out a pattern that maximizes our chances of taking tricks. I'm going to give him 6 hearts because he bid them, right? And my queen of clubs scores when he's got to have 3 clubs. It needs to be 4, 3, 3, 3 in clubs. Then I can maybe get the queen too if we get to it fast enough, right? That would leave him 2 in spades, 2 in diamonds, right? 6, 3, 2, 2. So I have done the work and basically come up with the same thing from this side of the table that my partner did, or I did as my partner, as I did earlier. Right? So king played, I throw the club, he cashes out the club. Now that's brilliant, right? He wants to take those two clubs just in case there's only two over here, right? I may not be able to figure it out. Leads the jack of diamonds, right? Which forces the king out, and now I'm going to get two diamond tricks. So I have a choice now of cashing out the queen, which will get ruffed if he only had one diamond, or cashing the queen of clubs, which will get ruffed if he only had two clubs. This is not as big a deal as it seems. What I don't like is that 10-9 of diamonds in West. Right now, it looks as though we were 5-4-2-2. Right? 5 in my hand and diamonds, 4 diamonds over here. He started with the jack, which he may have done anyways from 3. Right, but it seems like it could be 2-2 here. In which case, I could play the queen and try to get him a ruff as well, or I could play. The queen of clubs and hope that the diamonds have to be sorted out anyways. I'm going to try the queen of clubs first. And it flies. So my 6-3-2-2 is looking pretty good, although he may have diamonds and spades. Are the other ones out? My partner had 3 diamonds. Then there's only 1 diamond left. So, this has a chance of being rough, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to play a diamond. He shows up that we know we know the distribution of 6-3-2-2. And there should be 2 spades up here. Only chance of another trick here that I can see, besides the ace-king that I'm already giving my partner, is for him to get an over ruff in diamonds. So I'm going to give it a try. The 6. And we get it. Okay. East, this time around, leading from my hand here. For one reason or another, he gave us an extra trick. We got now if he's gotten, and I say that because I know the distribution of the heart suit. I know the distribution of the heart suit was 6-3-2-2, so I know he started with 3 hearts, right? So he's still got a protected king, right? Or he's got the ace and another. Either way, we're getting tricks. He throws up the spades, which are hopeless. And there's the king, right? So we did very well this time because we got an extra trick. There's the second spade from that guy. He's going to ruff this no matter what, so I'll throw something else away. I think all he's got left is hearts again. Yeah. So this time we did really well, right? We set them 3 by virtue of the robot and whatever playing things beyond my ken. He decided to play small, try to ruff small. Anyways, I hope you get the idea, right? The base, and there's a lot more to learn about defense than this, but this is something to start working on if you're not doing it, which is before you start signaling, figure out what your partner has. It's not that hard. Right? I could throw hand after hand after hand down, and you would be able to predict relatively easily what honors to expect in your hand. Then you want to tweak your expectations because we want to make a positive and optimistic assumption about where to find the cards. There's no sense on defense being pessimistic. It just doesn't work. You don't play the cards going, oh boy, I don't have anything here. Partner doesn't have tricks. I bet you the declarer has 4 or 5 more points than he's shown. It just doesn't even make sense. You need to make an optimistic assessment, one that gives you a chance of taking more tricks. Okay, and this is how you do it. Just be optimistic and be objective. Look at the evidence. Right? Don't assume things that you know aren't true, right? Or that you would know aren't true if you worked a little harder. And you should be able to improve your defense immediately. Now, I'm telling you, in match points, fractional improvements on your defense result in better match point scores because people play defense badly. And they don't do it intentionally. It's just really hard to play defense. And a lot of people don't bother to learn what they need to learn. When I give private lessons in defense, we just use standard signals. And we don't really start even talking about them until we're moving into a stage where I'm sure you're able to picture the defense in your head. And until that point, we don't even do it. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Work hard on defense. You get to score better. Okay, see ya.